Hearing Ji Xianxun's words, Hanju instinctively resisted. To think you said that you're not the one who will face the calamity. I saved you out of kindness, but you still want to drag me into the calamity? Hanju couldn't help but ridicule in his head. Detected that the person facing the calamity has invited you to enter the calamity together. You have the following choices. 1. Agree. Work with the person facing the calamity for great providence. You can obtain a mystical power inheritance, a supreme treasure, a great Dao fragment, and a heavenly Dao spirit stone. 2. Reject. Stay away from the calamity and cultivate in a low-profile manner. You can obtain the system's upgrade opportunity. When Hanju saw the 3 lines of words, he immediately chose the second option. System upgrade. He finally had a chance to upgrade the system. How wonderful. Hanju was in a good mood. He looked at Ji Xianxun and shook his head with a smile. Don't you know my personality? I'm afraid of death. Forget it. Disappointment flashed across Ji Xianxun's eyes. He would be more confident if Hanju helped. Wait. How can I think that? I want to surpass him, Cao Cao. Ji Xianxun's gaze became firm again. The two of them stopped talking. Several hours later, after Ji Xianxun's body recovered, Hanju quickly left. The ghost figure appeared above Ji Xianxun's head again. He sighed. A close friend is rare in life. I didn't expect you to have such a good friend. I'm impressed. Ji Xianxun couldn't help but recall the time he spent with Hanju in the mortal world. He shook his head and laughed. Hanju moved around crazily in the netherworld. After moving for tens of thousands of times, he finally jumped back into Hidden Sect Island. After returning to the Fusong tree, Hanju was secretly pleased. No one could track him now. Master, why did you come back from outside? Tu Linger asked curiously. Hanju said, it's windy outside. I went to stop the wind. Tu Linger couldn't help but look at the dark sky. Was there wind? Hanju began to observe the Fusong tree. The tree's intelligence seemed to have grown again. This time, it no longer resisted Hanju. Facing his divine sense, it was even a little close. Hanju used his divine sense to nourish it, but he let it grow freely. Master, Murongqi is bullying us. Han 3 suddenly ran over and said. The other Calabash brothers were also indignant. Although their seniority was higher than Murongqi's, they could not defeat him. Murongqi spread his hands and said, it's just a spar. Don't slander me. Didn't you defeat the chaotic heavenly dog before? The chaotic heavenly dog nodded desperately as it cried. It was actually beaten up by the latter. Its self-esteem was about to shatter. Zhou Minghua stood up and said, Uncle Master Murong, why don't we spar? Murongqi looked at him and nodded slightly. Recently, Zhou Minghua's bloodline had begun to transform. The demon saint bloodline from his previous life might be recovering. His combat strength and cultivation had been increasing rapidly. What vexed him was that no matter how hard he cultivated, he couldn't surpass his master, Chu Shuren. Although Chu Shuren said that he didn't want to cultivate, he kept suppressing him by a major realm, making him want to vomit blood. You can spar as you wish, but you can't be too ruthless. Killing fellow disciples is against the rules, Hanju said casually. Cultivating on the island was boring. It was also a good thing to spar. However, the territory of Hidden Sect Island was limited. The disciples couldn't use their full strength, or they would affect the restriction and the surrounding yellow spring. After nourishing the Fusong tree for 5 minutes, Hanju returned to the Khanate cave abode to continue cultivating. He sat on the bed and clicked on his interpersonal relationships. Only after confirming that the Golden Crow Divine Emperor's portrait was no longer there did he truly relax. This great enemy was finally dead, and no new hatred appeared. The karma mystical power was really powerful. He could deny the possibility of an endless chain of enemies. Hanju thought. Several months later. In the midst of cultivating, Hanju was called by the white-robed Buddha. He sent his divine sense into the reroll world and found him. The white-robed Buddha was in the Taoist temple. Hanju appeared and floated in front of him. Sect Master, I want to summon back the cultivators who have ascended from the reroll world. The white-robed Buddha bowed. Hanju frowned. How many people will be summoned back? No, it's too much of a commotion. The white-robed Buddha asked in surprise, it's been so long. Could it be that the great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor is still chasing after us? Hanju was stunned. Right. The Golden Crow Divine Emperor was dead. What was he afraid of now? Although the Demon Emperor and the Heavenly Tao Buddha hated him, they didn't have the time to care about him. The reason why he had moved the reroll world over was that the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor was pestering him. Hanju asked, "How many people can you call back?" The white-robed Buddha replied, "At least 1,000. Now that the immortal world is in chaos, those cultivators are already uneasy. When they heard that the providence of the mortal world has increased, they now can hide and want to return. However, the reroll world is isolated by your dermic powers. They can't use their divine powers to find it." Hanju thought for a moment and said, "Let them return to the void where the reroll world was before. I'll fetch them 50 years later." "Thank you, Sect Master," the white-robed Buddha said in surprise. Then, he began to report the recent development of the reroll world. Apart from the constantly increasing ceiling of the cultivation realm in the world, the number of living beings also increased. The humans and demons did not interfere with each other and fell into a cultivation frenzy. The only thing the white-robed Buddha complained about was that the reroll world was too small. After the two of them finished chatting, Hanju placed his attention on the primordial world. He LED'd the nebulous primordial chi to the reroll world and created something from nothing. He created land and expanded it. This process would be slow. Hanju had to cultivate and expand at the same time. Multitasking was nothing to an immortal emperor. Time passed. The system upgrade was taking longer than before. In the blink of an eye, 10 years had passed. The system was still not successfully upgraded. Hanju chased Dao Comprehension Sword out and took out the Book of Misfortune to curse his enemies. While cursing, he checked his emails. Your good friendly Dao Kong has stepped into the river of destiny. Your good friend Divine General has taken a deadly risk. He has comprehended a deity realm mystical power. Your Dao companion Xing Hongxian has received guidance from a Grand Unity Golden Immortal. Her cultivation has increased greatly. Your good friend Huang Jihao was attacked by demons, X349232. Your good friend Jiang Yi was attacked by your enemy Li Xianao and was severely injured. Your good friend Zhou Fan has devoured a Qilin and his bloodline has transformed. Your good friend Meng Po was cursed by a mysterious curse. The battle was still ongoing, but it was much calmer than before. It seemed that the calamity was not always in a tense battle. Hanju noticed that Meng Po was cursed, and his heart skipped a beat. Crap! Could it be that someone wanted to use the name of the Dark Forbidden Lord to commit a crime? At this juncture, as long as one cursed the enemy and blamed it on the Dark Forbidden Lord, it would be very easy to succeed. Wait! No one knows that I'm the Dark Forbidden Lord. So what if I'm framed? Hanju raised his eyebrows. He had deduced that the name of the Dark Forbidden Lord did not create karma. After all, the Book of Misfortune could block karma. Forget it. No matter what they did, they would most likely die after the immeasurable calamity ended. His goal was to survive this immeasurable calamity. Han Ming has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points, 4 stars. Han Ming? Who? Hanju was stunned when he saw this line of words. He immediately checked Han Ming's profile picture. Han Ming, late-stage Grand Unity Mystic Immortal Realm, descendant of an immortal emperor. His elder brother, Hanju, was chosen by Immortal Emperor Samsara to become his descendant. Because of this, he was highly regarded by Immortal Emperor Samsara and was reborn from a mortal to an immortal. Because he knew that everything had happened because of his elder brother, Hanju, he became jealous. Current hatred points, 4 stars. What the hell? My younger brother? Hanju was stunned. The providence of an immortal emperor descendant that the system had produced was actually arranged in this manner. It had unknowingly made Immortal Emperor Samsara choose him. This was a little impressive. Hanju wasn't grateful to Immortal Emperor Samsara. He was also grateful to the system. As for this younger brother, Hanju didn't care. His parents had abandoned him when he was young. The reason why Immortal Emperor Samsara chose Han Ming was probably that he saw that Hanju was rising and wanted another pawn to restrain him. You want to use this stupid brother to threaten me? Impossible! Hanju smiled disdainfully and couldn't be bothered with the other party. Han Ming was only a Grand Unity Mystic Immortal and could not threaten him. Not to mention Han Ming, Hanju didn't even think much of immortal Emperor Samsara. After all, he was also an immortal emperor himself. He had even cultivated the primordial chaos reincarnation Great Tao, which was stronger than the 6 paths of reincarnation technique. After cursing all the enemies, Hanju didn't stand up and continued cultivating. Although the powerful enemy, Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor, was already dead, Hanju still had to work hard to become stronger. His target was to become a rank 4 immortal emperor. In the vast void, in a sun star, flames swept across the surface of the planet like purgatory. In one place was a huge palace with 2 huge 3-legged golden crows at the entrance. The hall was also burning with true sun flame, but none of the decorations had been burned. Figures stood in the hall, including Jiang Yi. Sitting at the head of the table was a mighty figure with a bird head and a human body. He wore a crimson-red robe and had a terrifying aura. The Golden Crow Divine Clan's patriarch, Di La Tian. Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor has perished. Who has he been chasing after recently? Di La Tian asked with a cold tone. Jiang Yi was the first to speak. He was chasing after a friend of mine. However, that person's cultivation level is weak and he's not an immortal emperor. Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor should have been killed by another mighty figure. The others nodded. Previously, when Jiang Yi was killed by the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor, it had caused quite a stir in the clan. They were all prodigies worth the Golden Crow Divine Clan nurturing with all their might. It was a pity no matter who they lost. Di La Tian narrowed his eyes. Did the Golden Crow Divine Emperor die in the Netherworld? An old man nodded and replied, yes, I asked the King of Hell. He's in seclusion and said that he doesn't know. Xitigarbha was attacked by the Devil Ancestor earlier and didn't have the time to care about the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor. The others guessed. Jiang Yi was displeased when he heard that. So what if he's dead? Patriarch, as long as you give me time, surpassing the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor is not difficult at all. I will bring prosperity to the Golden Crow Divine Clan. Di La Tian narrowed his eyes at him and smiled. What do you plan to do in this calamity? Dodge or enter? Of course I'll enter. Aren't you afraid of death? The reason why elites are elites is that they are alive. If I die, it will mean that I'm not the destined one of the Golden Crow Divine Clan. Jiang Yi was filled with confidence. With the death of the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor, he was the strongest prodigy of the Golden Crow Divine Clan. No one could compare to him. Di La Tian smiled meaningfully. In that case, I'll give you a mission. Go to the Netherworld and find the ancestral Magus Tower. Destroy it. Di La Tian said. Jiang Yi agreed without hesitation. The others were in an uproar. Ancestral Magus Tower. They couldn't help but recall the long-standing hatred between the Magus race and the Golden Crow Divine Clan. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, another 30 years passed. Hanju's cultivation level improved again. The speed at which the stellar primordial body absorbed the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus's negative karma was also constantly increasing. The rank 4 immortal emperor realm was no longer far away. Every 10 years, Hanju would spend a month taking care of his enemies. However, only Golden Rock Demon Lord's cultivation level kept decreasing. It was very difficult for the Demon Emperor, the Heavenly Tao Buddha, and Li Xian'ao to be affected by the curse. Hanju wasn't in a hurry. Life was good like this. Hanju took out the Book of Misfortune and cursed the enemies again. While cursing, he checked his emails. The Heavenly Court seemed to have fought with the Demon Court again. They attacked and were severely injured. Xing Hongxian had quite a few fortuitous encounters. It seemed that the Golden Kite Sacred Veins bloodline was not simple. He didn't know how this woman was doing recently. She was too far away, and Hanju couldn't understand her recent situation. Several days later, Hanju was still cursing the enemy. Detected bearer of Khanate Providence, check its origin. Hanju raised his eyebrows and immediately chose to check. It had been a long time since he had seen someone with connate providence. Hundreds of years. Now, there was no one in the real world with a system-certified connate providence. The threshold of connate providence also increased with Hanju's cultivation. Duan Hongchen, rank 1 immortal emperor. Born in the face of calamity. Reincarnated ancient god. He once participated in the immeasurable calamity and died. His remnant soul and the negative karma were suppressed in the netherworld. After countless years of evolution, his body was born from negative karma. His remnant soul gained intelligence and could absorb negative karma to become stronger, but he could not digest negative karma himself. Born in the face of calamity? Wasn't the person facing the calamity Ji Xianshen? Could it be that more than one person was facing the calamity? Hanju immediately checked Duan Hongchen. This fellow was actually slowly rising towards the sea in the Yellow Spring. To prevent any accidents, Hanju still followed Duan Hongchen to a simulation trial. Too close. But still an instant kill. I have no worries. Hanju didn't look for Duan Hongchen. He should stay away from such a calamity lest he got involved in it. A pair of eyes opened in the dark Yellow Spring. These eyes were so clear and bright as if they could expel all the filth in the world. I'm finally awake, a muttered voice sounded. He suddenly rushed out of the Yellow Spring, and the water of the Yellow Spring shot into the sky. Duan Hongchen also revealed himself. He was naked and had a perfect figure. His muscles were well defined and his white hair fluttered in the wind. He raised his right hand, and the water of the netherworld rose up from below. It wrapped around his body and condensed into a yellow robe. A crown that looked like a dragon horn appeared on his head, looking sinister and domineering. Duan Hongchen twisted his waist and opened his arms. A slightly sinister smile appeared on his handsome face as he muttered, "Hao Tian, I've already revived. I'll fight for the heavenly Tao before you." He smiled confidently. He was about to leave when he suddenly sensed something and turned around. His gaze locked onto a small reef in the distant Yellow Spring Sea. Surprised, Duan Hongchen muttered, "The god of misfortune, why is he here?" With that, Duan Hongchen flew towards Hidden Sect Island. He smelled something bad the moment he was born. He couldn't help but smile. How exciting! What? Sensing that Duan Hongchen was actually approaching Hidden Sect Island, Hanju raised his eyebrows. What was this fellow trying to do? Cause trouble? Duan Hongchen quickly flew to the sky above Hidden Sect Island and smiled. Long time no see. I didn't expect to meet you right after I woke up. You're really unlucky. His voice entered the Hidden Sect Island. Everyone was stunned. Who was he talking about? Cultivating in seclusion in the cave abode, Su Qi suddenly opened his eyes. For some reason, when he heard Duan Hongchen's voice, he felt inexplicably uneasy, as if he had encountered his natural enemy. What happened? Su Qi was secretly puzzled. At this moment, the restriction on Hidden Sect Island opened and Duan Hongchen flew into the island. He was about to speak when a figure appeared in front of him. It was Hanju. He asked, "What's the matter?" Duan Hongchen sized him up. He was only a Grand Unity True Immortal? He chuckled. I'm looking for someone else. Hand him over and I won't hurt anyone on your island. Oh? You want to kidnap someone? You can say that. Duan Hongchen wasn't vigilant, either. He had scanned with his divine sense just now and discovered they were all very weak. As for the Black Hell Demon Lord, he disguised his cultivation like Hanju and was ignored. The difference between a rank 1 Immortal Emperor and a rank 5 Immortal Emperor was still huge. All the disciples of the Cultivate Diligently Become Immortal Mountain looked at Duan Hongchen in surprise. On a mountain peak, the meditating Black Hell Demon Lord smiled mockingly. Hanju said fearfully, "They're all my disciples. I'm afraid it's not appropriate for you to do this, right?" Duan Hongchen waved his hand and said, "There's no need to say anything. I don't mean to hurt any of you, but that person," Hanju suddenly attacked. The primordial judgment sword had unknowingly appeared in his hand. He raised his sword and slashed. Unparalleled sword chi. Before Duan Hongchen could react, the sword chi entered his body and directly destroyed it. Countless sword chi strangled his soul. Hanju also used the Six Paths soul absorption technique and sucked his soul into his primordial world. The hidden sect island became calm once again. This battle ended too quickly. It was so fast that no one could see it clearly, including the Black Hell Demon Lord. So strong! He's getting stronger. The Black Hell Demon Lord looked at Hanju in awe. He had a feeling that Hanju would rise in this calamity. After the calamity passed, Hanju would become one of the top mighty figures in the world. The other disciples were used to it. Most of Hanju's attacks insta-killed the enemy. It was only when the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor came that they suffered a setback. Hanju turned around and returned to the Khanate cave abode. The disciples discussed among themselves, but it did not cause a commotion. In the primordial world, Duan Hongchen's soul was imprisoned by the great Tao of life and death and could not move. He looked around in shock. His negative karma was forcefully sucked out of his body and surged in one direction. He looked in the direction where the negative karma flowed and saw a dark planet. His gaze pierced through the planet and saw a black lotus. 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus. How is that possible? Duan Hongchen was shocked and terrified. He hurriedly shouted, "Fellow Taoist, I was wrong. Spare my life. Please let me go. Duan Hongchen has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points, 4 stars. Hanju snorted coldly when he saw this line of words. He would suppress this guy for a period of time. He didn't want to kill Duan Hongchen for the time being because this fellow was someone who was going to face the calamity. He could clearly sense the terrifying negative karma in his body. Once he killed him, this huge negative karma would transfer to him. The more negative karma there was, the easier it was to suffer retribution. The heavenly tribulation he encountered during his tribulation transcendence would be even stronger. He might even be struck by lightning while walking. In other words, the more negative karma there was, the more unlucky he would be. Hanju didn't want to be unlucky. Tao Comprehension Sword asked curiously, "Master, who was that fellow looking for?" Hanju shook his head. "Who knows? He was probably looking for Su Qi, god of misfortune." Hanju didn't want to reveal Su Qi's identity for the time being and planned to let nature take its course. In a courtyard, a woman in a green dress who was as beautiful as a fairy was meditating and cultivating. She was the reincarnated Xing Hongxian. Xing Hongxian slowly opened her beautiful eyes and looked at the sky, sighing faintly. "What are you thinking?" A voice sounded, and a Taoist nun walked into the courtyard. Xing Hongxian immediately stood up and bowed. "Master, I'm not thinking about anything." The Taoist nun walked in front of her and sat down. She smiled and said, "Aren't you going to tell Master? Could it be related to your previous life? I've long known that you have the memories of your previous life. Could it be that you have a blood feud? I have to give you a piece of advice. The grudges of your previous life are in the past. Don't take it to heart, or you'll be very tired." Xing Hongxian shook her head and smiled. "No, I'm just thinking about my husband." "Husband?" The Taoist nun frowned. Xing Hongxian was surprised to see her expression. Could it be that Master's sect did not allow disciples to find Tao companions? The Taoist nun said, "Disciple, the calamity has arrived. Your sacred dynasty will also face a life and death crisis. I can't accompany you for long. Your potential is outstanding. Don't be obsessed with love, understand?" Xing Hongxian said obediently, "I understand." She didn't think so. My potential is also considered outstanding? My husband's potential is #1 in the universe. Only by relying on her husband could she obtain the great Tao. Xing Hongxian changed the topic and asked, "By the way, Master, which sect are you from?" The Taoist nun smiled. I'm not from a sect, but from a follower of Providence. I'm from the Chan school. Chan school? Xing Hongshan fell into deep thought. The Taoist nun raised her eyes to the sky and muttered to herself, the calamity has arrived. I wonder who will be the sole leader in the current world and how many of us will survive. Xing Hongshan became even more curious about the tribulation. Master, when can I travel between the two worlds of the living and dead? You want to go to the netherworld? Only a grand unity mystic immortal can be safe when doing that. With my potential, how long will it take? 3,000 years if you're fast. Oh. 20 years later, the system finally succeeded in upgrading itself. System upgrade successful. The Tao field has been upgraded. The array formation has been upgraded to the Emperor realm. Spatial array formation has been added. You can expand the space within the Tao field. Tao field immortal chi has increased by 10 times. Connate chi has increased by 2 times. The Tao field can block the prying of a zenith heaven's divine sense. The use of the simulation trial function can be expanded. The available slots will be set by you. The users can be expelled at any time. The system has developed a new derivation function. You can consume lifespan to deduce all the heavenly secrets. Hanju was pleasantly surprised. No wonder he had waited so long. In addition to upgrading, the new simulation trials expanded function and derivation function were more than worth it. The simulation trial could also allow his disciples to increase their combat experience. After all, their cultivation levels were too high, so sparring on the island was inconvenient. Hanju was most interested in the derivation function. Deduce the heavenly secrets. Was this prying into the future? Many immortal emperors could do it, but they could only deduce existences weaker than them. Now that the calamity had begun, the heavenly secrets were concealed, and it was impossible to deduce. Could it be that the system could deduce the heavenly secrets regardless of the immeasurable calamity? Hanju decided to give it a try. I want to deduce who will benefit the most from this calamity. Hanju thought silently. A line of words appeared in front of him. 1 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? 1 billion years of lifespan? What a huge scam. Hanju subconsciously wanted to choose no, but he still hesitated. Although he had a lifespan of 10 trillion years and it was not a big deal to use 1 billion, he couldn't bear to do it. He was afraid that he would become addicted. The constant cursing was already consuming his lifespan. If he added another derivation function, would he expend himself to death in the future? However, spending 0.001% of his lifespan to understand the future development of the heavenly Tao was a great deal. If it was the heavenly emperor, he would be at ease. If it was an enemy, he could still prepare in advance. Just this once. Next time, I won't use the option if I need to spend another 1 billion years of lifespan. Hanju thought silently and made the painful choice. In an instant, his consciousness began to spin. It was extremely uncomfortable. The derivation function wasn't as simple as telling the results. It also had to deduce what had not happened yet. After some time, Hanju suddenly woke up. He discovered that he was standing on a piece of land. The world was murky and the sun and moon were dark. Countless corpses were everywhere. Black blood formed rivers and lakes that covered the ground. Dead silence. Desolation. Hanju turned around and looked in all directions, his eyes filled with despair. Was this the world after the immeasurable calamity ended? Hanju finally realized how terrifying the immeasurable calamity was. Hanju suddenly frowned and followed his gaze. At the end of the ground stood a majestic figure that was like a mountain. The arms of this figure were chopped off and his hair was disheveled. He had a sinister expression and his eyes were lifeless. Only his body was left, and his soul had long been destroyed. The Heavenly Emperor. Hanju was thunderstruck. The Heavenly Emperor had died? Crap, the Heavenly Emperor wasn't the winner. Then, who won? At this moment, a golden light broke through the sea of clouds and illuminated the world, expelling the darkness between heaven and earth. Amitabha. A loud voice sounded as a huge golden Buddha as majestic as Buzhou Divine Mountain descended from the sky. I'm the heavenly Tao Buddha. I'll bring the Buddhist sect to flatten the calamity and expel the negative karma of the world. We'll welcome light and hope for all living beings. Han Ju showed a frown. The Buddhist sect had won? It was the heavenly Tao Buddha. Han Ju couldn't forget that the heavenly Tao Buddha had a 4-star hatred towards him. Crap! The enemy really won. Han Ju had killed the victorious fighting Buddha and stolen the white-robed Buddha. This grudge was almost impossible to resolve. This wasn't a good thing. Just as Han Ju was about to become depressed, he suddenly saw the golden light on the heavenly Tao Buddha's body fade away, and he gradually turned into a black Buddha. The surface of his body reflected a metallic luster. The solemn and sacred heavenly Tao Buddha had become sinister and terrifying. His expressionless face turned sinister as he revealed a terrifying smile. A pair of black wings spread out from his back, covering the sky. The world fell into darkness again. However, light and hope are short-lived. The true darkness has just begun. The heavenly Tao Buddha's voice sounded again, filled with madness. Boom! Everything in front of Han Ju shattered like a mirror. He woke up and his consciousness returned to reality. He gasped, his forehead covered in a cold sweat. Master, what's wrong? Tao Comprehension Sword asked in concern. Han Ju came back to his senses and said, nothing. Go out first. Tao Comprehension Sword was stunned. She hesitated for a moment before leaving. When only Han Ju was left in the Khanate cave abode did he take out the Book of Misfortune and poured his dharmic powers into it. In an instant, the book emitted a black light that shone on his face. Damn it! It was really the enemy who had the last laugh. Han Ju almost exploded. No! He wanted to change the heavenly fate. Heavenly Tao Buddha, for the sake of all living beings, I will change your fate. Han Ju gritted his teeth and thought of the scene he saw just now. His heart was filled with fear. He knew the true identity of the heavenly Tao Buddha. This fellow was actually transformed from one of the devil ancestors' corpses. This traitor was planted by the devil race in the Buddhist sect. Han Ju began to curse the heavenly Tao Buddha. From now on, the other enemies would be cursed for 5 days, but the heavenly Tao Buddha would be cursed for 10 days. He wasn't doing this for himself, but for all the living beings in the world. At this moment, Han Ju felt like the light of justice was glowing on his body. He couldn't let the heavenly Tao Buddha succeed. West Heaven, Thunderclap Monastery. The heavenly Tao Buddha, who was cultivating, opened his eyes and frowned. Again. Dark Forbidden Lord, what are you doing? The heavenly Tao Buddha thought unhappily. The appearance of the Dark Forbidden Lord made him very uneasy. His original plan was to target the Demon Court, the Divine Palace, and the Heavenly Court to kill each other. But everything had changed now that there was a Dark Forbidden Lord. Many mighty figures believed that the Dark Forbidden Lord was related to the devil race, but he knew very well that it was completely unrelated. There was actually a mysterious and ambitious force hidden in the heavens. Heavenly Tao Buddha sighed, feeling that his understanding of the myriad worlds was still too shallow. That made sense. Ever since the ancient Zenith Heaven existences retired, the appearance of the Dark Forbidden Zone and the Chaotic Forbidden Zone had long made the Heavenly Tao more and more mysterious. No, I can't just sit here and wait for death. The Heavenly Tao Buddha suddenly left. On Hidden Sect Island, all the disciples gathered under the Fusong tree, including the Black Hell Phoenix clan, Fairy Xixian, and Chang Yuer. They were all waiting for Han Ju's arrival. They whispered to each other, curious why he summoned them. Han Ju finally came out of the cave abode. Seeing him come out, everyone quietened down. Han Ju walked in front of everyone and said expressionlessly, the Hidden Sect has always followed the philosophy of keeping a low profile. But now that the immeasurable calamity is coming, cultivation alone is unable to increase one's strength. Everyone was shocked. Han Ju wanted to chase them out to train? The chaotic heavenly dog trembled in fear. Ever since its eyes were dug out by Li Xian'eo, it had been filled with fear. The Black Hell Chicken was also afraid. It had never gone out. Li Yao frowned. They couldn't continue cultivating here anymore? I'll create a special space where your consciousness can enter and simulate a battle. In the simulation battle, you will not be affected no matter how many times you die. You can choose to fight each other or all the opponents I have encountered thus far. Hanju continued to introduce. The simulation trial mainly focused on him. The others could only enjoy the use but couldn't choose the opponents they had faced before. Everyone was curious. Hanju immediately chose them to enter the simulation trial. As long as you're on the island, you can enter at any time. Hanju left after saying this. Murongchi muttered, simulation trial? How? As soon as he finished speaking, he fell into a daze. The others were the same. When they wanted to enter the simulation trial, their consciousness directly entered. 5 minutes later, most people had already entered the simulation trial. Zhou Minghua said excitedly, Grandmaster is so powerful. This mystical power is too powerful. It can greatly increase our combat ability and can also cultivate mystical powers in battle. The Black Hell Demon Lord said gloomily, why is the great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor so strong? He was being beaten up. Grandmaster actually fought the Heavenly Emperor before and can even simulate his strength. How strong is he? Murongchi exclaimed. After the simulation trial, everyone was even more respectful towards Hanju. They thought that all the opponents in the simulation trial were defeated by Hanju, including the Heavenly Emperor. The opening of the simulation trial caused the hidden sect to become lively. In the first month, all the disciples were immersed in the simulation trial and often exchanged their combat experiences, including Fairy Xixian, Chang Yuer, and Li Yao. This method of fighting without creating enemies was fascinating. It was like a person who had never played games before experiencing an online game. Too addictive. Hanju didn't participate and continued cultivating. As the immortal qi and connate qi in the Dao field increased, Hanju's cultivation speed also began to increase. The Buzhou Divine Flower was also growing faster. It would probably mature completely in a few decades. Years passed. 10 years later, the craze brought by the simulation trial finally cooled down. However, 2 people were still immersed. They were Murongchi and Tu Linger. Most importantly, these 2 were still growing stronger in battle. The others were extremely envious. Hanju didn't stop them after knowing that they were still becoming stronger. The War God and the Grand Magus were natural battle maniacs. Hanju took out the Book of Misfortune and started cursing the Heavenly Dao Buddha. While cursing, he checked his emails. Your good friend Li Daokong was attacked by your enemy Heavenly Dao Buddha. Your good friend Divine General was attacked by the demon race's immortal emperor, X39. Your good friend Divine General is dead. A trace of his soul managed to escape. Your Dao companion Xing Hongxian obtained an ancient treasure by chance. Her providence has increased greatly. Your good friend Jiang Yi was attacked by a ghost deity. Your good friend Ji Xianshan was attacked by the devil race, X263120. Your good friend Primordial Chaos Heavenly Devil has entered the body of a Buddha and transformed into the Devil Heart. Hanju's heart skipped a beat when he saw that the Divine General died. He couldn't help but think of the Heavenly Emperor corpse he had seen when he had deduced the heavenly secrets. How long could the Heavenly Court last? Sigh. The immeasurable calamity was really dangerous. Hanju could only warn himself not to enter the calamity, or he would be as miserable as the Heavenly Court. The only thing he could help the Heavenly Emperor with was cursing the Heavenly Dao Buddha. In addition, Hanju noticed that the Primordial Chaos Heavenly Devil he had not seen for many years had finally become the Devil Heart again. Previously, this fellow was the white-robed Buddha's Devil Heart. After being subdued by Hanju, he had been hiding in outer space. This was a good thing. In the future, the Buddhist sect would have another spy he planted. There was also a spy in the Jie school. Wait! Why do I feel like I'm actually the Dark Forbidden Lord now? No! I'm doing this to protect myself. I'm not fighting for world domination. Hanju consoled himself and relaxed again. A month later, he put down the Book of Misfortune and continued cultivating. The Buzhou Divine Flower beside the 9 Heavens Galaxy Water could already provide enough connate qi for Hanju to cultivate. In addition to the Fusong Tree, the Resurrection Lily, and the Dao Field, the immortal qi in Hidden Sect Island was extremely abundant. Murong Qi had said that even the heavenly court did not have 1/5 of the immortal qi of this place. The 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus also converted negative karma faster and faster. Hanju's cultivation speed could be said to be very fast. If this continued, he would break through to the rank for Immortal Emperor realm in less than 100 years. Hanju looked forward to that day. Duan Hongchen was still imprisoned in the primordial world. Like the Black Hell Demon Lord, he was extremely afraid. He was afraid that his soul would be devoured by the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus. Hanju planned to continue torturing him until he died or submitted. During the immeasurable calamity, killing enemies would cause one to inherit the other party's negative karma. Although Hanju could absorb negative karma, it required time. If he directly inherited the huge negative karma of Duan Hongchen, it would definitely attract bad luck. Every time he thought of Duan Hongchen, Hanju would wonder how many people were facing the calamity. 30 years later, the first inner sect competition of the Hidden Sect ended. They all competed in the simulation trial. Hanju was first, the Black Hell Demon Lord was second, and the White-Robed Buddha was third. There was no surprise about the top three. The fourth was Murong Qi. He had suppressed the Grand Unity Golden Immortal Realm's Black Hell Phoenix, as expected of the War God. The fifth was Liao. At the perfected Grand Unity Mystic Immortal Realm, she could also challenge a Grand Unity Golden Immortal. Next were two Black Hell Phoenixes. The weakest was the Chaotic Heavenly Dog. Fairy Xixian and Chang Yuer didn't participate. This was specially permitted by Hanju. After all, they were both mortals. Joining this competition was completely humiliating and pointless. The Chaotic Heavenly Dog sank into depression. Zhou Minghua was also depressed. He had been targeted by his master, Chu Shuren. Chu Shuren didn't defeat anyone. He was even defeated by the Chaotic Heavenly Dog. However, he had defeated Zhou Minghua and won very forcefully. The others could tell that there was something wrong with the master and disciple, but they didn't say anything. After the competition ended, the disciples cultivated even harder, not wanting to be surpassed. In terms of cultivation, Hanju was getting closer and closer to becoming a rank 4 Immortal Emperor. On this day, Hanju came to Fairy Xixian's cave abode. Chang Yuer also came. He prepared to preach the Tao to them. Where's Xinghong Xian? Why haven't we seen each other for so many years? Chang Yuer asked curiously. Hanju didn't hide anything and told her that Xinghong Xian had already reincarnated. Chang Yuer was shocked. How could this happen? Fairy Xixian looked at him in surprise. Hanju's powers could already affect reincarnation? Hanju smiled. You don't have to think too much. Cultivate here in peace. If you want to return to the real world, I can send you back. I don't need you to cultivate to a high level. That was the truth. He was willing to raise the two women mainly to reminisce about the past. Seeing them, Hanju could think of his weak past. He was vigilant and couldn't become arrogant. He couldn't stop cultivating. I don't want to go back. I'll stay here and follow you. Who knows, I might be able to live forever. Chang Yuer giggled. She was usually very hardworking. Other than cultivating, Hanju would also give her the various arrays and prescriptions he had obtained and let her study them. Chang Yuer was suitable to be an all-round talent. It would be difficult for her to achieve anything just by cultivating. Fairy Xixian said softly, I'll stay here. If you need us to do anything in the future, just tell us. You don't have to care about our past relationships and treat us differently. She stared at Hanju intently. Her gaze was as gentle as before. Hanju smiled. There's no special treatment. The other disciples don't have anything to do, either. Then, he began to preach to the two women. They were already at the Mahayana realm and were not far from the loose immortal realm. Hanju left after half a year. He didn't return to his cave abode immediately but wandered around Hidden Sect Island. Ever since the Dao Field had been upgraded, the space inside had begun to expand. A sea area appeared at the edge of the island, formed by the nether spring water that had wandered in this sea area. It was still in the area of the Dao field and would not leave the hidden sect island. The hidden sect island wasn't small, to begin with. Ever since the cultivate diligently become immortal mountain was moved here, immortal chi filled the air. The desolate mountains on the island began to produce natural treasures and trees. It seemed like a paradise. The disciples of the hidden sect also began to spread out across the island. The 7 black hell phoenixes gathered on a mountain, and the 8 Calabash brothers also occupied a mountain. Hanju walked forward leisurely. As he did so, a line of words suddenly appeared in front of him. Detected bearer of Khanate Providence, check its origin.